So this is actually an orchard that has been here for over 100 years. My husband is the 4th generation who has lived on this farm. And for the longest time, it was just apples in a garage shed. On your honor, you wrote what you took on an envelope, you put your money in the envelope, and you put it in a mailbox. Throughout the time that I've been with my husband, I saw all these apples, and he had planted a lot more trees than what was originally here. And I thought there's got to be more to this. And so backtrack about 10 years ago, a customer at work asked me to do a tasting with apples, and I said, well, I've never done anything like that before. And they came in my house and we sampled apples with some wine and some cheese, and they loved it. And all of a sudden it clicked, this is what I can do. I love to have people come out and experience apples in a totally new way. So how we do that is through what we call tasting experiences. So one of the tasting experiences you can kind of see behind me is our Taste Through the Orchard, where you come and get to taste a 6-course meal. And it is appetizers, a main course, dessert, live music, bonfires, open seating, and taste apples in totally new ways, like a pork loin sandwich with basil, Gouda, Honeycrisp apples grilled on a panini press and served right up. That's how we do apples. Second one is we press each of our individual ciders into a non-alcoholic cider and turn our shed into a brewery-like experience. And you get a cider flight on a cider board and get to try all the different flavors of apples through cider. So that is always the last weekend of October, and it's probably one of my favorite events to come to or host. And then we also do indoor artisan apple tastings where I talk through the history over a multi-course meal. We had an old-fashioned pie social, just bringing it back to the past and meet your neighbors. We'd like to do whatever we can just to bring people out and experience life here on an orchard. Throughout the season, we have 16 different varieties of apples, soon to be about 20 different varieties. Some of our trees are over 100 years old, and we still pick from them. There's a lot of different cider varieties that we use and a lot of later varieties of apples that are Minnesota-based. And then we have planted some of the newer varieties that the University of Minnesota has come out with. There is so much work behind the scenes of an apple orchard. So one thing that's unique is that everything in our shed we either make, we raise, or a neighbor does. And so I can't just order more online and have it here the next day to serve to you. I first have to create it and make it and then put it out in the shed. So that's something that makes us unique, but also requires a tremendous amount of work on the back end. I lived in the Twin Cities for about 8 years and I loved it, and I did not want to move back to Southwest Minnesota. In fact, I always said I was going to travel the world and never come back. I married my neighbor and that kind of changed things. And I am happy to be back, but one of the things that I really missed was things to do, experiences. And I was sick of driving an hour or 3 hours to find that. And so what you see at Nystrom Orchard is what I craved living here. And so I wanted to create experiences for people to come where they didn't have to drive far away. Aside from our tasting experiences, we just love families to come out and pick. We aren't a full fall festival, but we do have a lot of fun. Get outside, enjoy fresh air, be out here, pick your apples, and taste them along the way. That is what we love. We love to host you, so please come on out.